So I was already making money like 2 weeks after starting this channel. Some people might be happy with 5K a month, but we're trying to hit that milli. Like retention and swipe rate are very important, but what comes first is the number one, the actual content. And then number two, like you said, like the timing of it. I failed so many times, right? So it's like that habit of failing and doing it again. Whenever you pick up the phone, just know that like that guy is sold.
How much money you make is not connected to how much time you put in.
You have to be moving and adapting. Having a $1,400 day, but then you can have a $400 day the week after. We've all been there. When you get your first big amount of money, you don't know what to do with it. Honestly, putting it back into whatever you're doing is the smartest thing you could do. I've always believed that anything is possible, and it really just comes down to how far you're willing to go.
In this episode, I talked to Ronak, and once again, this episode kind of felt like I was talking to a different version of myself. Ronak has been experimenting with ways to make money since he was a kid and tried YouTube and all this stuff. And then once he got a job in sales that was majority commission based and he realized he can actually make more money based on being better, he wanted to apply that to making money online. So he started a YouTube Shorts automation channel in the ranking niche. He recently got monetized and has already made 10K in a 2-week period, which is absurd. And not only that, he's documented the entire process 100% transparently on his channel. So kind of like in my videos, he shows the actual channel that he owns, how much money it's making, and how he's making that money. And he gives all these updates, niches, tips, everything that you can use to start a YouTube Shorts automation channel yourself. He's absolutely killed it, and it's really refreshing to see another person in the make money online space who's as transparent as me. With that all being said, it's hard to find people who are transparent in this space, and the fact that we found another one who's 100% transparent about everything is awesome. So like the thousands of people that already watch him on YouTube, I think you guys are going to like this podcast. And without further ado, please enjoy the show. Okay, so Ronak, one of the first videos I saw of yours, I watched a couple last night to prepare for this podcast, and one of the first that I saw was, the first frame of the video was you, your face, and a visual of your YouTube studio of your channel. I think it was your ranking channel, and It showed what channel it was, how much money it made. You're one of the few other people in this whole space that I've seen that does what I do, which is just show the channels and shows exactly how much they made. Why?
To be honest with you, my biggest thing always has been number one, just honestly believing, as a young kid, to be honest, I've always believed that anything is possible. And reading through comments and consistently being around other people who think that, this e-com life, whether it's YouTube, drop shipping is not possible or people get lucky, has always kind of pushed me to prove that aspect of it and just be transparent and actually, be yeah, guys, I did this. This is how you do it. You can do this. Because it just gets to a point of I believed in it, and having other people around you say that it's not possible or not believe in it. I was okay, I mean, I guess I'll just start this channel from scratch, show everything, and here we are.
Who did you hear say that it wasn't possible?
It's not one person. It's just growing up, family, friends, people around you that are when I guess a lot of people could relate to this, when you have bigger dreams or bigger goals than people around you, a lot of times they'll probably tell you it's not possible or try to push you down. There's very few people that are I guess buy into your dream. So same thing with YouTube. YouTube was one of the things I got into very early. I remember when I was 13, Rice Gum dropped God Church, and I would sit on my laptop and record a reaction video. And obviously, growing up, just when Fortnite was a thing, doing YouTube, then a lot of times people just make fun of you. So when this YouTube Shorts thing kind of happened, I was I saw what's possible. I've watched a lot of people in the space, including yourself, and seeing other people succeed and just be transparent, I thought was extremely cool. So my whole thing was, I'm going to start a channel from scratch, and whoever wants to follow along and see that it's possible. You literally can't say anything now because everything is there on the internet.
Yeah, I like to have the same exact thing where it's proof along the way, the whole way through. So that's why I make videos right now. I do a recap at the end of every month showing exactly how much money I made and from what sources. And even if no one views those, I don't care, because I just want there to be a track record that I've been doing this for the past however many years. That way when I'm 40 and someone's bro, how do I know I can trust you? I can just be look.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So were there a lot of entrepreneurs in your family growing up?
No, actually no one I know, whether it's family or friends, actually, which kind of kind of sucks in a way, because you see all these like other young kids or like all like, groups of people, and you're like, damn, like, you wish that you had like-minded people around you. And yeah, growing up, I didn't have that, but to be honest, like last year, as I got into sales, I kind of met other people, because sales and like commission, it's again another one of those topics. Same like YouTube, like any business, it's like it requires a certain type of individual, and most people don't have like, I guess, the ability to like fail that many times, because whatever you do, right, like whether it is YouTube, like this isn't my first channel, and it was crazy that like when I started documenting it, that exact channel was the one that ended up like going crazy. But no, growing up, no entrepreneurial, I guess, influence, which I guess was the reason why I wanted to be or make that difference.
Hmm. And when did you know? You said at 13 you were making reaction
Yeah,
videos to Rice Gum.
yeah.
You,
So with YouTube, it was,
you would
yeah, it
have,
was like,
what was the motivation there?
honestly, with YouTube, it was just like seeing like other people, like again, when I was a kid, I didn't really know much, but it was just like, yo, like this guy's job is to like react to like people. So I'm like, I could do the same thing. So I did that. I tried like recording vlogs of me going to like the coffee store when I was like 14. And then Fortnite was really when it got serious, to be honest, because that was like a big. I feel like that was a big turning point for a lot of people, like when you're able to make playing games and make money. So I really locked in on Fortnite, and I spent 3 years of my life, like my 15 to 18, just grinding every day. And I got to a point of like 50K to 100K like long form views in a day. Like things were finally starting to like do pretty good. At least at that age for me, it was a big like achievement after all the work. And essentially, I trusted somebody and I got hacked, and it was like the worst thing ever. And that was kind of like a downfall moment in my life, and I had to quit for like 7 months. Um, but yeah, that it was, I guess, when I was 13, I got more into like realizing YouTube's possible. But my big like entrepreneurial moment was like I bought Yeezys off somebody from like Kijiji. Like I told my dad, I'm like, yo, this guy's selling them for $70. But he lived like an hour away, and it was like size 12. And again, everybody thought they were fake, but I don't know, I was just a kid. I was like, yo, they seemed legit based off my knowledge or whatever I knew. I with my dad, I bought them, I wore them for 4 months. And that year's Christmas, I was like, okay, I'm gonna list them, and I sold them to like some mom for like $500. And it was just
Whoa.
like, no, like I literally, like, to my extent, again, I bought Yeezys, like they were real to me. My friends just didn't believe they were real because of the deal. But the guy, is a size 12. He lived really far away. He just needed to like sell them. I was like, okay, I'll buy them. I wore them, and then I tried selling them, and I surprisingly did end up selling them for like $500. And like to me, it was like just seeing that, like you're able to, like, I guess, do that, like just that aspect, like that's not, you can't do that in a normal job, you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
that's like that experience of like buying something and reselling it was like another cool like business moment of like how fast money can move. So yeah, those all tied together kind of just made me who I am and like where I want to go with my
Right.
life.
I think that's like one of the first core realizations every entrepreneur, maybe it comes to one moment or maybe it's just they learn about it, but it's the first moment you realize that, like, yeah, it's how much money you make is not connected to how much time you put in. And that's
Yeah,
probably your first realization with it when you went, "Oh my god, wait. I didn't spend any time working with these Yeezys. I just bought them,
yeah,
chilled, and then gave them to someone else and made $450 profit. What is
yeah,
going on? This is not how the world feels like it should work."
yeah,
So from there, okay, so you already had a YouTube set up before, but you decided, I guess, after 18 or 19, after the Yeezy thing, to get a sales job.
yeah. Well, the easy thing was actually like a bit before, but the Fortnite thing was like around 18 when I got hacked. And then the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
like, after you get, like, I had that momentum built up like of years, right? Like my channel was doing good, and then me taking a break for 7 months just killed my channel. And I tried again. Like after I was like, okay, I'm ready to do this. I tried again. It just wasn't like the same. Fortnite wasn't the same. I was getting older. I tried different channels, different niches in long form, like nothing was honestly working out. And it was like summer, like school just ended. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get a job. Like I just want to make some money to, like, either invest into like another setup, or like crypto was
Mm-hmm.
big at the time, just some other venture, but you obviously need money. So I was like, okay, I'll just get a job. I literally applied just like everybody else with like 1,000 places, and I got a call back from like it was like a telecom job. It was like a sales position. Like you get an
Mm-hmm.
hourly plus commission, and I like my whole thing with commission. I thought like, okay, it'd probably be like an extra $100 a month or something. So I was like, yeah, sure. I went and did the interview. Somehow, I got accepted because I say somehow because there was like 10 people and I was like the youngest person with no experience. But the funny thing is in my interview, I told them my experience about my YouTube channel. And I guess the managers just like liked it. I was just like, I ran this channel, whatever. And they hired me. And my first month, I made $100 extra. My second month, I made $700 in just commission, like excluding my hourly pay. And I was like, okay, like this is crazy. And after that, I honestly just kept like going crazy. And in Q4 of that year, I probably made like an average of like 6 7K a month, which working a normal job like at 18, like it was just a normal retail store like job, but like it was that commission aspect that really made it crazy. And then my highest month was like December that year, which I ended up making like 8.9K from like a retail job. Again, it was just like really like eye opening of like what commission can be, because again, commission is just based on like who you are, right? Like your skills and that ability, like how good you are at communicating. The more you can upsell, sell. Like again, we don't have to go down the rabbit hole of sales, but like it was pretty interesting. Same like YouTube, like how we're so interested when you start a channel and looking at all the analytics and like trying to get to that next level. Same thing with sales. You're like, okay, like your pitch, you realize your tone, your pitch, your body language, like all this stuff matters, and you want to get better at it. Like same thing, you want to get better, higher retention, higher swipe rate. Same thing with sales. So I kind of found that same like thrill in sales that I found in YouTube. I still was trying YouTube, throughout all of this while I worked that job for like a year. I started a brand new channel just to prove to myself that I could like do it again in long form. I spent like literally 8 hours a day for 4 months straight. I did get it monetized, but it was just in like a super small niche. It wasn't making sense. So I quit again. Um, but yeah, after that sales job, went to university, probably around 1920. Got another similar job here. But one thing about
Mhm.
sales is like you're going to realize like the one of the most important things about like where you work is actually the environment and people around you, right? Because to some people that like that are just like a lot of people I was working with at the job, like my next job, it was still a commission job, but their mindset was still so like normal that like they didn't think it was possible to, do XYZ. And it just felt like a toxic environment. So I quit. I was like, you know what, we're gonna give this YouTube thing one more shot. What like it's my YouTube relationship has been so weird. It's just been constantly, like fails and grinding and fails. Yeah, kept doing YouTube, still no success. And I'm actually happy I get to talk about this, because even now, like people think that like, the one channel they see on my channel is like the only thing, or like,
Mhm.
I just got lucky. But I wish I could actually, those moments of like you spend like hours, months on a channel and like nobody even knows about it, right? There's so many of those like experiences. But the craziest experience I would say by far through YouTube is my, the current channel I started. I saw a lot of people doing YouTube Shorts. A big thing about me is like I'm super curious about things. So like when I see like a video about YouTube Shorts, like I'm just gonna go in a rabbit hole, watch all the different creators in the space, like see what they're doing, try to like absorb as much. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know if you know his name, Puma YT.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he does a similar thing as you. I'm pretty sure you and him were like the first two channels I saw in the space before like YouTube started to recommend me more. But Puma was doing like he was just like sharing his journey in a way and just sharing like stuff. I was like, it'd be pretty cool, because I've been a person who's like always documented stuff in my life, because like I was even doing like a TikTok series as well. So I was like, okay, I'll do the same thing on YouTube, but I'll blow up a channel from scratch, right?
Mhm.
And it was crazy because like 2 weeks into it, we got a music deal, which I learned about along the way. So I was already making money like 2 weeks after starting this channel. And like literally just over a month after I got monetized on that niche, even though the whole month and a half, everybody in my videos was like, you're not going to get monetized. The niche isn't monetizable, XYZ. But like the thing was with this niche is like so many people just put such low quality, like non transformative content. But like since day one, I made sure my content, like I did as much transformation as I could do. And I kept it consistent every like
Yeah. So
short.
wait, do you want to share your screen on this? Because I know you're in the ranking
Yeah.
niche. To me, this is like, how on the fuck is this?
Yeah,
How do you
sure.
get this to be transformative? Like when you're just compiling videos.
You want me to show you my analytic, like my studio?
Yeah, sure. Go through your studio and also go through some of the videos as an example and show me show me what
Sure.
makes this transformative.
All right. Give me one sec. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is the studio for the ranking channel. And yeah, I mean, it's been
Wow.
crazy.
Dude,
Yeah,
congrats. That's a great month. Yeah.
this is crazy. It's not even, and the crazy part is, I didn't even get monetized
Oh
this
my
whole
god.
period.
Yeah.
This is just like, a 2 week thing. again, there's been crazy days, obviously, and this is in CAD, by the way, it's not USD. So yeah, there's been crazy days, $1,400. Like again, this is just insane. And then yesterday was like one of our lowest days. The biggest challenge I've had, with me doing this and being like transparent and showing everything was the fact that it created a lot of like competition and saturation in a sense. But that's part of the process. So I'll go through like one of my shorts, and I guess I could like break it
So,
down.
did you get hit with the content reuse policy?
I didn't know.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it just straight
That's
monetized.
You
And yeah,
might
it's
get
crazy.
hit with it soon, bro. But
You
it's
think so?
possible to win it. Yeah.
But like that's what I was curious about. Like, I don't. Why would they like initially monetize me and then like you know like I don't see a reason for them to do it now,
I don't,
or is
that
it just?
it so it happened to us, I believe. It's not like we just didn't get accepted. We got monetized and then shortly after got hit with content reuse. But we
Mm,
were able to appeal it and win. I'm curious, but again, even if you aren't able to appeal it, this is an insane run. Like,
yeah, appeal. Like you just got to show your editing process, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
and
cool.
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's been crazy, man. Yeah,
Here,
100
so what's
million
been the
views.
most viral video on this channel?
It is the Hibachi Moments one, 50 million views. And then,
Damn.
but to be honest, this has to be the craziest one. I uploaded this, and literally within the first like 2 days, I had 1 million views, and then within the first like, yeah, I mean, like every day after that, like in less than a week, it had 23 million views,
Oh
and it
my
made like
god.
$3,000, which is like again, this is just crazy, and this is excluding like the music revenue on top, right? Which is like for 26 million views, probably like $300, right? So it's like
Mm.
over 3K from something 19 seconds of like
Wait,
a
so let me
short.
see this video. And you've been making these videos
I've
yourself currently?
done everything myself, yeah. So okay, cool. One sec. Okay, I'll just mute the audio.
Nonchalant.
Yeah, so like with this thing, the reason like a little breakdown of like why this one did good. The nonchalant elevator entrances one already had done good on my channel. Like I uploaded this on February 22nd, and it already was a good idea, right? And like you probably hear people say this all the time, but if something went viral once, it'll go viral again. So my whole thing is like for initially when I got all these ideas, obviously I'm studying other people in my niche, but now like I have enough information on my own channel to work with this. So anytime a video goes viral, like I have to recreate it at least once or twice with obviously new like content, but the same idea behind it. So it went viral. I did it again, except there's a almost a month and a half of a gap. So I knew a lot more, like I understood a lot more about like retention. So what I did differently was like, well, number one, it's only 19 seconds. So it's like right when the video starts, it's right to the point, like within the first, like your eye is gonna see the first thing. And number two, like I used a controversial person as my first clip, which you could tell. So like a lot of the comments are like people, let me see, uh, yeah, like there's just people saying like things about it. But the point is like it gets your attention like right away. And then now you see that that's number two, right? Like this is another big thing in like the ranking niche. So like showing number two first, and if it's like number two is a good enough clip to get them interested, like they're naturally gonna want to see what number one is. Like it's just
I
psychology.
see, yeah.
And then all the clips like throughout were like just interesting. Like right after that, even this one, like the guy almost lost his fingers, and like as a consumer or like a person watching this, like you just want to know at this point. And then that just like leads to good stats. But
Yacht. I'm dead.
yeah, uh, that's literally it. That is it. Like that this is what's crazy to me. Like something like this could make like this amount of money is honestly
Yeah.
insane.
Wait, go to your content. I'm curious if I'm starting to see a theme. Maybe I'm tripping here. Sort by views. Okay. I might be tripping, but I guess you do this with a lot of them. I think one of the appeals, right? I don't think we've ever gotten a video to hit 50 million on any of our channels with animal content. And I think one of the big reasons here is because especially like the hibachi moments or the elevator, like those are so easy to understand no matter what language you
Mhm.
speak. You know what I mean? Are these majority US viewers?
Yeah, that's actually why the RPM and stuff is pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, this one's 32%, but my channel was like 30 to 40% US, which is pretty cracked. But like I've noticed and I've watched other people talk about it. Like initially when the video blows up, it focuses on your like main, audience, which for me would be like USA and Canada.
Mm.
But eventually when it's like
It
continuing blowing
gets,
up, they start to
yeah.
like test new stuff. So like when this probably, first was like blowing up, it was probably majority thing. I don't know if we could check actually.
Yeah,
Just
I
like
think you can if you go to advanced mode.
this. Like the first like 3 days or 3, 4 days. Yeah,
Oh,
60%.
yeah, okay, okay. Yeah.
So it just gets down like obviously as they test more things. But yeah, my audience is majority uh USA, which again is like a huge factor in terms of like CPM and stuff like that. Like this is crazy. 35 cents.
Oh, wow, what?
Yeah. This
Dude,
but this is like
ours is like 20 cents.
now no, now it's 20. It
Oh,
like
okay,
bounces
okay,
out, but
okay.
like yeah, first 2 days and stuff are pretty
Okay, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Got it, got it.
Um but to be honest though, like ever since like I guess my main channel has been like blowing up, like in the past month on my other channel, it's done like 120K or something like in long form, and it most of the videos are just me showing this niche. So there's been at least 1,000 channels that have started, like at least, which has led to a lot of like I guess over repetitiveness of content. So it's like if YouTube's gonna show somebody like if 10 people make hibachi moments today, and YouTube shows one person, like I see that video already, I'm gonna watch it. Cool, I like it. But if I see that again on my feed, I'm probably gonna swipe, which would lead to like somebody's channel getting like ruined. So it's kind of more of like I guess a weird scenario in this niche right now. I definitely still think it's possible to do good, but I just feel like starting out like right now, it's just I don't know. I've told my viewers like it's smart to sub niche in right now, which somebody did, and he got like 200K subs in like under 60 videos, and he sub niched into cartoon stuff. So it's like he's like ranking like Angry Bird moments and things like that.
Mm. And
So like
what do you think the intelligence is behind doing that?
I think sub niching is smart because number one, like the ranking niche in general, yes, it's huge and it's something that's like I feel like evergreen because there's always going to be something to rank. But I feel like the general category it's so saturated by like again, if 100 people are doing hibachi moments, elevator entrances, it really just gets boring for viewers. But like knowing that ranking is a proven concept, and then maybe for example for him cartoons are a big thing, right? Like that's just what he chose. You could also do something maybe like I don't know streamer clips. You can make one for speed, like ranking best speed moments, because you're still getting the ranking aspect of it, but you're also combining another viral idea. And if
Mhm.
your sub niche is good enough, you're not going to have as much competition.
Yeah.
So
I
I feel
also
like
imagine if you build up a good channel in that niche, you'll get a lot of returning viewers because speed fans will keep watching your channel. And so you'll
yeah.
keep showing up on their For You page as a returning viewer, and YouTube will recommend that. Versus if you have a random speed video that's in a different ranking channel that does all types of ranking videos, that would be less likely to be recommended to that person,
Yeah,
even if they're a
exactly.
speed fan, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So, okay, I think you could come back to the.
All right.
I'm gonna remove the screen share. So, okay, because I was gonna say go back to your personal channel for a bit now. One of the things that was like I asked my audience what they wanted, and a lot of them said like we want to see you do a 60 days, like I tried YouTube shorts for 60 days, or I blew up. People love the format, like I
Yeah.
tried blank for 60 days to prove it's not luck. Like they love to see
Mm.
like can you actually do that. So I was surprised seeing your videos because I'd be like, okay, this guy's actually documenting the whole process. He's transparent as well. Like this should be blowing up.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
no, actually uploaded that video yesterday. I tried YouTube Shorts for 60 days. I feel like with my main content, a big difference might just be that like I don't really edit it. It's pretty uncut
mhm.
stuff, like straight up, which I guess is it's good on one side, but on the other side, it's like in terms of like retention and stats of like people being entertained till the end, it might not give it that. But again, like my whole thing with my main channel was always just to like kind of document it, whether anybody watches it or not. It's same thing. Like in a year from now, when I'm in my Lambo, and somebody's like, "Yo, you won the lottery or something," it's like, no, you could go back a year on my channel and see me literally spend every day just like grinding at this position, this position. Even now, like it's crazy to me. I can go back 2 months to see when I started that channel, right? Like it was just
where it
2 months
wasn't even
later, like
monetized, yeah.
yeah, it was nothing. Or even like I even documented me finding that niche. It wasn't just like I chose that niche. I did my actual niche like research. Like there's certain things I look for when I'm finding a good niche. And at the time, that niche just made sense. Later, I started to learn more about it and like realize how crazy it is. But like initially, it wasn't just like I saw other people doing it or whatever. It just made sense, so I got into it. But yeah, my goal is to grow my main channel. Nothing's been going too crazy, like you said, like nothing's like insanely viral, but it's been consistent. Like I'm looking at it right now, like every video is doing like 2 to 3K views,
Yeah.
which I mean, for long form, like I guess it's good. Considering I'm uploading like 1 to 2 times a day, right? And again, it's like on my end, there's only so much I could like talk about because a lot of times what happens is just people asking the same thing again and again, but like they might have not, subscribed to me or like seen my videos like a week ago, and I literally made a video about that sort of thing. So it's like continuously like the same topics, which is good for newer viewers, but like the old viewers don't want to see that same thing again.
Mhm.
But more people just care about like me. Honestly, a lot of people just want me to do it again, like start a new channel and document it. But like the only thing is that like I did start new channels, but I just can't instantly show it because it's just gonna like I guess ruin the niche for me. I have to give it
Mhm.
a week, test it out because now it's at that point like everybody just wants to copy the niche right away. And I've
Yeah.
said this so many times, like I don't think that's the strategy. I did that before. I saw somebody like if I saw your video right now, I saw you doing like the animal niche. I had the same experience. I saw somebody doing like food type of videos like in IRL voiceover, and just based on that person's like success in that niche, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it and it's gonna be the same results. And I spent 3 months. I didn't make a single dollar, right? Because I realized like there's so many more things that go into it, like timing, right? Like when he created that niche or when you created your animal niche, there's the demand of that sort of content at that time is different than what it is today, right? Or your experience. Like even me seeing that guy's channel, that's probably his 10th channel too. So it's like there's so much more, but like again, most people are just gonna be like, okay, this looks easy, and
Yeah.
we're
Well, I was pretty see, I fully agree with you because people just see a niche and want to copy, but really the riches are when you find a niche that for some reason or another other people can't do as well. That's really
Mhm.
the best, and that can only work if you actually incorporate whatever your specific knowledge is into making that niche. Like with the animal stuff. Now, I've honestly have know nothing about animals, but the guy who I started with this with and work with, bro, he is like he's been training to
Mhm.
be a vet like his whole life.
Yeah.
He'd been posting these animal videos on his own channel for like over a year and gone viral with it multiple times, and we had the exact storylines and scripts that he would use and the exact strategy, and we nailed it and got it down
Yeah.
like exactly. Like, so when I showed that and we were already making money from it, I wasn't really that worried that that type of animal video would get saturated. And I knew when I uploaded it too, I knew there would be people try to copy. And
Yeah.
I knew there was just no chance that they would be able to do it how
Mhm.
we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this guy's whole life is looking like his whole living, the guy I work with,
Yeah.
is looking at on social media every day, finding the best animal clips. Like he is like a memory of like hundreds of thousands of clips probably at this point that he can draw from at any point. Like
Yeah, no, that like that again, but like not everybody's gonna understand that, right? Like most people are just gonna be like, all right, looks good, you're making money, let me do it. And that's what I'm saying. Like with the animal niche, again, animals are pretty global, right? And there's so much you
yeah.
can go into. But like for example, like like an animal like animal content won't really get like repetitive in that sense because like there's it's animals, there's so like the uniqueness of it. But like if there's a trend in the ranking niche, like nonchalant elevator entrances, there's probably gonna be like at least 1 or 2 repeat clips in every ranking video, which is why it's like even the people that like and 90% of channels I've reviewed that like when I used to do channel reviews, like subscribers of mine that started it, like I just noticed that a lot of them were just putting very low effort. It was just more of like they see, like the niche itself and like that it's making money. And a lot of them literally actually just put like zero effort into it. And like that's why a lot of the channels weren't blowing up, but it's still creating like oversaturation in that niche for YouTube. So it's kind of affecting like actual people who put in effort.
Mm-hmm.
But like what I've learned with YouTube is like you have to be moving and adapting, right? Like you
Yeah,
can't like even with this
exactly.
channel having a $1,400 day, but then you can have a $400 day the week after, and then the week after could be $100, or you could get demonetized. Like you never know, so you always have to be like adapting, growing, and like genuinely like not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where like I'm at right now. I'm really trying to like expand and like spread and like grow different things at once. But like yeah, we talked about this too. Like with me right now, it's like a one-man show basically. I'm trying to do it all on my own because there's certain things I want it. But I did take your advice, and I am speaking to some editors, so hopefully that'll like help me. I guess give me that
That's
space and
good.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, how much of your day is it taking up right now?
bro. The whole day, like I'm
Yeah.
sleeping
So
3 a.m. Just it's just wake up, YouTube, sleep.
yeah, exactly. So it's your results are insane, but there's no scalability potential until you
Yeah,
start outsourcing. But I was gonna say, yeah, because you know another thing I was talking about yesterday. So do you know Dennis?
yeah. The Verlo, right?
Yeah, I just had him on the podcast before this,
Okay.
and he's also in the ranking niche right now. I think he just is getting monetized, and yeah, his most viral video is Ashton Hall, like
Hmm.
top 5 Ashton Hall
Yeah.
moments. And this is another example to me where he showed me he was like the swipe rate on this video isn't like insane, the retention isn't insane, and people think that you just need those two things to go viral. You
Hmm.
don't. Like what you need is to he thinks of it as like one big game of supply and demand essentially, and you have to, as you said, kind of like go with what the trend is working at, or go with how YouTube is changing or what the demand is. And it's not all just about retention. Obviously we both know that's a huge part, but it's also about like how well positioned are you,
Yeah.
which is like a harder, it's harder to get that right. That has to do with what I was referring to earlier, like specific knowledge. So like
Yeah.
kind of what's trending. You probably saw the elevator, the
Yeah.
nonchalant elevator trend going viral, and you were like, "Oh shit, wait, I already know people like this. No one's even done a ranking video on this right now. I could capitalize." That's
Yeah.
those, yeah,
No, I was gonna say like honestly, that's a big struggle I've had because ever since like I guess talking about retention and swipe rate, 90% of the people that are gonna watch those videos are really gonna think that like that's like you said that's the only thing. So I have like consistent comments of people saying like my short has 100% retention and a 80-90% swipe rate, but it only has 10,000 views. Like my thing is, first of all, if your short has like less than 50,000 views, those stats are just like fake because like YouTube's kind of just testing it. Like 10,000 views is like as long as your channel is like normal, like most shorts are eventually going to get pushed out to like that 10,000 view, 15,000 view mark. And
mm,
like any stats you get from that are not really like real stats in a sense because that's just like YouTube pushing it out. Because like getting 90% retention on a 10,000 view video compared to like a million view video, there's a big difference. So I always say like retention and swipe rate are very important, but what comes first is the number one, the actual content, which is where people lack. Like they upload low
yeah,
quality content, but then are focused on the stats. But it's like that's not going to help you if your video itself isn't good, entertaining. And then number two, like you said, like the timing of it, right? Like some things, like the elevator entrance, they're like you gotta get on that early. Like he got lucky with the Ashton Hall thing. I was like 2 days late to it. Like by the time I made that ranking video, there was already people getting millions, which is why
yeah,
mine didn't blow up. But if you're early to like trends like these, or you notice them yourselves, like the elevator entrances, maybe I saw it myself on TikTok, or like when I'm in a niche, I have like a doc with like other competitors that I see are doing good. So I probably saw one of my other competitors post about it, and then I then did my due diligence. I found my own clips. Again, it's more about like this is when retention and swipe rate come into play because I use the trend that's working, and then I use what I know about like how to get higher retention in terms of like my editing style, and then created like that short, which then did good. So before the actual retention and stuff come into play, you have to be like making trending already viral videos or something that's like gonna do good. And then number two, the content itself has to be entertaining, right? And like when you're getting views, then the retention and swipe rate really is just like it's kind of like a boost at the end to like take you to that next level. Then you can start to like
mm,
get those things higher. But it really like if you upload a good piece of content, it'll do good regardless of like those stats. But if you upload a really bad video and it has 300% retention, which I've seen, again, it doesn't mean anything.
mm-hmm. Gotcha. I fully agree. I think I'm gonna do a video on that specifically soon. Like, does retention rate matter on YouTube Shorts? Um, and I think if I put in the thumbnail, no, people are gonna be like, "Wait, what the fuck?" and click on that. And so
Yeah.
we'll see. But this is something I've been thinking about a lot because I get that too on my Discord. People are like, "My AVD was 23 seconds," and I'm like, "Dude, fuck!" Like,
Yeah.
it's that doesn't rule everything. Like, so I was gonna ask also with your personal channel, how do you imagine making money from that?
So with my main channel, like I said, initially it was more of just like a documenting kind of thing. Just like me, I guess sharing it, and it also kind of like in reverse psychology gives me motivation to keep going because it's like I have to be accountable to whether it's 10 viewers, 1,000 viewers, or whatever. So I have to work on whatever it is.
Mm.
I would say my main channel, I mean, yeah, I've kind of made a similar video actually as you. When I saw your, I think I saw your last, or like 2 months ago, when you shared your spreadsheet, and I was like, when I get to that point, it'll be pretty cool to do that with that ranking channel. And at the time, I was making nothing. But when I started to finally get monetized, I made it. I mean, it's nowhere close to that spreadsheet, but I made a pretty
Mm.
basic spreadsheet just to keep track of my earnings, um, and like show everybody. But yeah, with my main channel, to be honest, in that video, I even shared like my main channel revenue is like not even what my faceless channel does in like a day. So it's not really about like the direct revenue. I would say, to be honest, as of right now, it's really just growing and kind of using it to like motivate others. I did create a free Discord server just as a community, and I kind of made it like a ranking system. So like if you're somebody who's doing like 100 million views a month, you can then speak to other people like that are
Oh,
also in that
sick.
similar. Yeah, so it's like I kind
That's
of
a
made it
smart
like
idea.
bronze,
Yeah.
silver, gold, diamond. So like even with me, like I've been communicating with a lot of other people that are in like diamond, people who are doing like 50 million views plus, for example, right? And
Mm.
you can like share ideas. So I kind of just want to grow that. And this is like, again, I made a video about this as well. I called it like I'm gonna be a YouTube guru, but no Lambo yet, or something like that. But it's just because like over the past month, I've gotten like at least 100 comments and like over 100 DMs of like people saying like, "Do you offer any one-on-one or anything?" And again, my whole thing with that is, I think courses and like mentorship and stuff like that, it's a weird space. I've bought some very famous person's course before. It was like 1.2K. Like I'm pretty big on like the learning aspect of it, and to be honest, it wasn't a worthy investment of mine. But it was like, I know that there are people out there that do offer good stuff, but with me, like I've said to everybody, like right now, I don't think I'm that person or in that position to like wanna put my like everything on the line and be like, yeah, I could do this, and I don't want you to like pay me money. But eventually, if I'm able to like scale to like 5 to 10 channels, because the money, like if I'm already making like a 50K, 100K from my YouTube channels, like I obviously know what I'm talking about. I don't think one, two, or three channels is enough. I really feel like you gotta
Hmm.
prove it. You gotta actually learn and like spend your time, do your time in this niche, or this, sorry, like business model. But I feel like eventually later on, I think it would be cool to offer something like that. I'm already doing that with like my family and friends. Some people who see me, like I'm teaching them on like how they could blow up their own channels. They've started their own channels, just for like just out of like free time like that. But later on, yeah, I think it would be cool to offer something like that. Even being in sales when I used to work there, like I eventually worked my way up to like a team lead. So I ran like a team of 5 people because I was doing well in that job as well, and I was able to like
Mm.
help and grow others. So I've always been like doing that in that side of things. I think it's really cool. Because even when I worked in sales, like I got to where I got to because of the mentor. I didn't like pay him. That's like the job, but like it's just like that aspect of like being somebody who can like bring others to that next level. It's real. I do think like it's people who have experience. There's real people out there, but obviously most people kind of do it with the wrong intentions. Like majority of the people are kind of like, okay, we'll just fake it till we make it type of thing. Um, so yeah, I would say my eventual later goal with my main channel is to have something like that where I could help
Hmm.
others, but not until I get to a certain point.
Okay, and I think the thing that can make it even more valuable to people or like more trustworthy is when you, as you have been and as you've been dedicated to, actually been doing it the whole time. So they saw the whole process when you had one channel or two
Yeah,
channels. You didn't just sell out and instantly make a course and teach people how to do it. You
yeah.
waited until you actually got to 10 channels and people saw the whole way through that, okay, this guy could have tried to sell me something earlier, didn't until he was certain.
Mhm.
Um,
No, I mean even now, like I'm not selling anything. Like I'm saying like I'm not even
yeah.
at the 10 channel stage yet, but I'm saying like I feel like the whole thing with most people, their goal is to like, yeah, blow up one channel and then focus on creating a course or mentorship, and that becomes like their whole goal rather than what it actually started as. And I know like whether it's ecom, drop shipping, whatever it is, there's so many people that their main thing isn't actually what they're selling, it's actually the course that they sell. But with me, like before I get to any point of like, I probably wouldn't ever do a course, because I feel like with things like these, or honestly in any place, if they're offering a course, I feel like it's a lot less valuable than maybe like a mentorship, because there's just so many things to it. And like a course could be something that's low barrier to entry because people might do it out of greed, like make like a $50 a month Discord, but like you can't really help everyone. You know, if 1,000 people join that, you genuinely can't. And then at that point, you're not really offering value. I feel like if I was to do something like that, I would, number one, make sure, you know, I've at least blown up and I'm running 5 to 10 channels myself, right? So like it's not really the financial side of things that I should like ever have to consider the course for, but like to
Mm-hmm.
take it to that next level, whether it's for personal reasons, because I've said this since I was a kid, like aside from the money, like I've always wanted to motivate and inspire others. So whether it's for like, you know, going to that next level, I wouldn't offer anything like a community, but I would probably have like a private mentorship where I could like work with people closely and kind of help
Yeah.
them in that sense. So it's fair to them and to me. But we're a long way from there still.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, you know,
Yeah,
what
I
happens in the
think the
future.
difference for me, so this is how I've always thought about it, right? A course, like a video course, let's say, is you can make the video once and then sell it an infinite number of times. So the way I like to think about it is like, would I, if I was giving this to a friend, how would I charge them for it? And if it was a video that I made once and all I had to do was unlock it for him, I
Yeah,
wouldn't charge the friend. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But if I had a friend that really wanted to suck up like a lot of my time throughout the day, I still might charge them for that if I was
yeah,
really helping them a lot. You know what I mean? Even if they're a good friend. And so that's kind of the way that I think about it is like, for me, a video course, like just charging obscene amount of money for that because it'll teach them something. Yeah,
yeah,
you can do it, but realistically, it takes no marginal effort for you to just give that out for free as well. So that's how I kind of feel about video courses in terms of
yeah.
just giving a direct cost for the course.
Hmm.
Um, but in terms of mentorship, I agree. I think it's way more. I don't like using the term ethical because I think
Yeah,
you can sell a course ethically, but it's just way more. Well, at the very least, it's way more fulfilling. That's what I
yeah.
talked to Dennis about as well. Is like when you get to see an actual client succeed because you helped them. That's like, oh yes,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even in
So
my sales job, it was the same thing. Like when my friends joined me there, like once I started to succeed, I was like, you guys gotta join. And then I was like their mentor in that space. And like a lot of them, you know, who've never done sales or don't know anything, like seeing them grow, it does give you like that I guess feeling
mm,
that you wouldn't get if it was like, you know, a video course. If I was just like, yeah, you guys go do this. But it was like me every day spending my time to like teach them. And that's why sometimes people like overlook, like, you know, people are always like, why are certain things paid, like why would a membership, why would I buy your thing XYZ, but like again, people don't remember the fact that like you're also, you know, a human just like them. You also have the same 24 hours in your day, right? So it's like if you're willing to give somebody your time, there's obviously some limit to it, right? So it's like if I ever offer like a paid membership because I've blown up 10 channels, I could spend that time instead of teaching whoever it is, just growing more channels, right? And making money that way. But it's like if I'm offering my time because I want to expand, it also would come to like some sort of fair cost where it makes sense for me, you know. But again,
mm,
I would still first focus on getting to that point of like my business, what I'm talking about, it's like solid.
mm. Yeah. So since we were on the topic also of how could you make more money with your personal brand, I am coming out with a video soon. But what happened was in the month of March, my YouTube Shorts channels did pretty poorly, and my the ways that I make money from my personal channel did well.
Yeah.
So at the end of the month, I reviewed how much money I made, and I think this month I personally brought home more money from my channel than I did from my faceless channels.
Yeah.
So I'm coming out with a video now. This is like trying to make fun at the gurus who aren't honest about this. I have a video called "I make more money teaching the thing than doing the thing."
Mm.
um, oh, am I lagging there?
You're good, you're
Oh,
good. It
am
was
I
just a
back?
little
I'm back.
laggy. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's like a kind of a funny video poking fun at that whole concept. Now, it can happen. Like this is what I think people are skeptical of, right? It's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this guy makes all his money selling the course on blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But but I think the thing is really, yeah, from my point of view, it's like one, well, I get to help people, which is cool. Like I get to hop on the Q&As and everything.
Yeah.
Two, um like what's wrong with making money doing helping people? There's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. And honestly, some people are better coaches. Coaches don't play, honestly, low key. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I still want to do the side hustle and obviously build up enough proof that I can do it, but that's I agree with you there. Like my
Yeah.
thing is I don't put it behind a course. The way I have made a lot of money is through affiliate marketing though. And that's something
Hmm.
I would recommend to you. Like I think that's one of the
Yeah.
most ethical ways you can make money when you're teaching the thing, because you can talk about tools that you actually use. I know you started with the music royalties. Tools that
Yeah.
you actually
Which has been,
use
yeah.
that other people can use as well to speed up the process that they don't have to, and you still give out
Yeah.
the information in the course for free. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I like. Same thing with Verlo. Like, you know, plug for them. But I used the software. I tried it out, and like I talked to Dennis and stuff, and I thought it's a pretty cool tool. Obviously, it's still undergoing development, but for like the price you're getting, like $30 a month. I mean, yeah, it's like $1 a day, but it's like all it takes is one video of yours, and like it'll cover the whole subscription cost, right? And like it's helping you. Like instead of doom scrolling on shorts, you can doom scroll on their thing to find like good viral niches, right? And like I personally thought that there was value in that, and I use that. Again, it hasn't been like crazy money, but yeah, even like in the past like 2 3 weeks, just like I wake up and you see a email notification that you just earned another XYZ from your affiliate, because I gave that option in that video as well. I said the ways I find my niche, two ways, like that way, which is the paid, and also the free way, which is how I found my initial ranking niche. So if you don't want to
mm,
pay for it and you want to go through that process, you could do that. But if you want to skip it and you want to try something like this, you could also do that, right? So it's like I'm still being transparent. I'm still who I am, but I'm still having that opportunity for affiliate stuff. But yeah, no, like even with your repurpose, like how you're making like such a good amount from just a tool that actually helps. And to be honest, I'm gonna actually download probably today myself, because right now I manually do it all. Like I go on everything, I post manually every day. So it's
oh
like,
my god,
why
dude,
would I?
yeah,
The value I would get, like
yeah, exactly,
all
dude.
like
You're making
you know,
like thousands. If you made like almost 10K in 2 weeks at this point, that thing costs like
yeah,
$30 a month, and will save you like
exactly,
I don't even know how much time if you're posting multiple times a day on
yeah,
every single platform. Like, bro, like an 1 to 2 hours a day, probably. Like, that's
yeah.
insane.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
And like
I'll leave the
at the
links to
same
both of
time,
those
if
in the
I'm able to
description.
share
And
that,
no,
yeah, and if I'm able to share that, like even if there's one to two three people that like start to find value, again, with I feel like affiliates and stuff is just like a snowball effect, right? It's just like you could provide like that. The Verlo video I made was 2 weeks ago, but even till this day, if somebody sees that video, like I'm one or two people subscribe every day, and then if they like it, like you're consistently, like for you as well, like this was your biggest month through just repurpose. But it wouldn't just happen if you started posting this month. You started posting 3 4 months
exactly.
ago, and like people are continuously finding those videos, seeing you use it, subscribing, and then it just builds up to like this huge funnel.
Exactly. Well, that's the key with
So
like software products, right? Like a lot of them with their affiliate commission have like monthly indefinite recurring commission. So like if you can provide people a
yeah.
tool that they'll actually use, and like a lot of the people that watch my videos, like they want to do social media and they do it for a long time.
Yeah.
So that they're not going to stop once they start that tool. Like presumably like you're going to be doing YouTube shorts for a while as well. So you're
Yeah.
going to want those posts on every other platform. You're going to download repurpose and you're going to use that for like at least months, like minimum, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And even
Yeah.
past that, you might forget to cancel. And that's how the
Yeah.
amount you make from the affiliates really blows up, at least in my case. Like it's crazy. The chart is literally just, like 100, like $50 first month, maybe like 100, 100, 250, 500, 1,000, 2,000. Like I've literally doubled
Yeah.
every month for the past like 4 or 5 months at this point.
That's crazy.
It's bizarre, yeah. So we'll see what next month is, but yeah,
Yeah.
that I found is like that, and really especially I don't know how much into it you are. I had a podcast with Yori, and he talked a lot about this, but ranking on YouTube search. This is a way to make like it's a really good synergy with that model because
Yeah.
essentially you get all the affiliates, but if you have a video that ranks well on YouTube search, then the amount of views that video gets is also going up
Hmm.
linearly over time.
That's true.
So now you're acquiring more customers every month for no extra work because the video keeps getting views. And you're making more money from all the customers that you kept and all the new ones that you add each month. So
That's true. That's true. I've been thinking, like my main channel that I started, like my, I guess the one that was like my Fortnite channel, which used to be like rice gum stuff, vlogs, whatever. Like my baby channel that I've had for the longest
Mm.
time, it still has like 25K subs, which I gained through Fortnite, and that channel has been like through it all. Like I've experimented different things, like every like I've grinded, that has been there, and I've been like kind of just not using it right now. But kind of how you said like that search thing, it kind of got me thinking. It was like, okay, now that I have, and another mistake I feel like people make is, I mean, I was one of those people, to be honest. Like when you start to get some money, instead of like investing it, or not investing it, but like putting it back towards what you're doing, you're like, okay, let's just hold on to it because you just got this money now, and you don't know how to act. We've all been there. When you
Mm.
get your first like big amount of money, you don't know what to do with it. But what I've learned is like, honestly, putting it back into whatever you're doing is the smartest thing you could do. So like in my case, like now that I could afford to get an editor, I could start to, like you said, upload like those videos in like the finance niche that will rank. No, bro, I've actually heard so many people. I'm reading this one right now, Tiny Habits. Um,
Mm.
but no, books. And again, like I talked about this on my YouTube channel, I'm gonna start uploading more videos related to mindset, personal growth, because not many people in YouTube talk about it at all. And most people that are doing YouTube, or I would say a good amount of people that are doing it, are not doing it directly because they're like diehard YouTube fans, but it's more just because they want to do something different, which falls into some sort of business, some sort of entrepreneurial thing. And the whole thing is like, if YouTube doesn't work out, that doesn't mean I'm gonna go back to living a normal life. Like I'm gonna do something. Like
Mm.
I've just decided, to figure it out in that sense. So like even things like outside of YouTube are so important, right? Like it's not like you wake up and you just succeed at YouTube. Like I failed so many times, right? So it's like that habit of failing and doing it again. That's just because of like who I've become in the process. And people don't focus on that as much, which I'm gonna start posting about now and bringing light to like, self development and just like who you can become. But yeah, going back to the search ranking thing, I've been thinking of like, using the money I make from my faceless pages to invest into like an editor and create search ranking good videos, like kind of how you're doing, I guess, on that older channel that I've had with like 25K subs, just because it's been there. It's kind of just sitting there. So I could upload stuff like that. And that's like, I won't get anything back today, but in 6 months, in a year, it can become like, a passive just machine.
Oh. Oh no. Go ahead. I lagged. I'm back, I think. Oh
Oh,
wait.
yeah, good, you good. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead. Wait, sorry. I got in you won't make money back the first day.
Yeah, I was like, I won't make like with that channel, long form stuff. When you're doing something like bigger, like you're not gonna make instant money like with shorts, I guess.
Mm.
But in 6 months, 1 year, like the potential with that is endless because you're creating a brand around yourself, right? And like videos like that, like you said, they could search, like stay on that search bar for years, and like just continue to like grow. And like if you're consistently posting videos that are so focused on like long term or like longevity, like the effects of it can start to snowball like crazy, like later down the road, where you're just making money from your older videos, affiliates and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I want to get into as well. But yeah, I just wanted to like go on like the importance of actually using your money to like help you make more money.
Yeah. Dude, it is a super long term path because, yeah, I'll spend like for those videos, I script them, I make them professional, and like they don't make money instantly. Some of them even flop. But the ones
Yeah,
that do make money, like the AdSense on the one I uploaded like 3 months ago has already made $100 and is growing linearly.
yeah,
The amount of people that joined repurpose from that, I think added $800 in monthly recurring revenue. You know what I
that's
mean? From one
crazy.
of those
Yeah,
videos. So you have to hit like a problem that people do want to solve, and the tool really efficiently helps them solve that problem.
yeah,
And when you do, like that's when you really start to stack and continue making money from it over time. Um,
exactly.
so what's next in store for you? So once you get this, you already got this
Yeah,
first channel popping off.
yeah.
What's next in store?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, what's next right now? Now that I'm able to, like, for two of my channels, have somebody else edit it, I genuinely don't have to spend any time. I'm probably going to spend like 10 to 20 minutes for those, like, a week, just like, coming up with the ideas. And that person will take care of the rest of it. And honestly, my goal right now, I feel like I've said this so many times, like, right now, the opportunity is bigger than ever. And what I have done in the past 2 months, like, documenting and showing it literally proves that, like, it's never been easier or like just not easier. Easier is a weird word, but never been more of a good time to get into something like this. So I'm gonna be just honestly just scaling, trying to find other like untapped niches and just growing in like different channels. And my goal is by the end of like, I mean, my goal, I said this, I've been saying this for 2 years now, but like on November 1st this year, I want to buy my dream car. So honestly, bro, like my goal is just to scale these channels, get my goal is 5 to 10 channels monetized that are printing while still growing my personal brand.
Mhm.
And honestly, I'm gonna as well now after our conversation like look more into like those long-term search things, because like I said, like when we're on YouTube, and if you're a creator or like an entrepreneur or whatever, you should know all the ins and outs, right? Like if I'm just succeeding at YouTube Shorts, why not try to also succeed at creating a personal brand? Why not also try to be the best at like search ranking stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
there's nothing holding you back. There's no reason why you shouldn't go the distance. So the hardest part is getting this initial startup, just getting some momentum, getting some money so you can use that back. But once you have that, like it really just comes down to how far you're willing to go. Some people might be happy with 5K a month and be like, all right, we'll call it here. But we're trying to hit that milli, so we're gonna keep going.
Yeah. No, I think the progression for a lot of people, and this certainly was true for me. Well, I started with TikTok, but so
Yeah.
effectively that's YouTube Shorts. But I think the progression for a lot of people is like YouTube Shorts into YouTube long form, or like what I talked to Blake. What he's doing is like ultra long form. So he's doing like
Mm,
like multi-hour long videos that's just like 10-hour campfire or whatever the fuck.
yeah. I've
Um,
seen I've seen this guy talk about that. Does that actually work though? Because like I don't know if you know this
yeah.
guy, like
So
YouTube Wiz.
I don't know what YouTube is.
He's like the biggest guy on TikTok that promotes doing stuff like that, like rain videos and like stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, I know like a few people that have tried it, but I don't know. It just that nobody's ever gotten momentum. But again, they've only tried for 2 weeks, so I don't really know, too much about
Yeah,
that.
is
But
it saturated? I actually don't really know. So does it work? I think the answer to that is yes. So it you can make a lot of money if it works. That's the thing. I don't know
mm,
how saturated the niches are. I'm sure like rain, if you don't innovate
yeah,
on it at all and you just post rain, like you're probably not going to succeed.
yeah,
But I was really confused actually for a long time how people were able to be so successful with ultra long form, because I'm like, dude, who is like what? And then I realized I recently got a TV. Me and my roommate,
yeah.
we got a TV for our, and I realized this is how people are printing, because essentially what I
Mhm.
do is like when I'm just chilling in my living room, like, and we're not watching anything, I'll just put on the TV like scenic mountain, or like
Yeah,
soothing campfire, like chill. Oh yeah, yeah. And so I'll have like soothing rain and all this stuff just playing on the TV while I'm not even doing anything. And I honestly like I have that playing for like hours at a time.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so
No, I
that
do this. I do the
whoever's
same thing.
made that video, yeah, whoever made that video, I know is just printing off of it. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize this, but there's a ginormous portion of YouTube viewers now who are strictly YouTube TV viewers. So they're just people
Yeah.
who are watching at home from their TV. And that's a huge niche to tap into. And the people who are
Mhm.
successful with ultra long form, I know are printing from that, because they are
Yeah.
getting a ton of ad revenue because the watch times are just
Yeah.
ridiculously
Yeah.
long. And it's to people who aren't even really tuned into their TV. Like they're not even looking at it, to be honest. But they're
Yeah.
still getting paid the normal rate that ads pay. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I think you have YouTube Shorts into YouTube long form. And then during all of this, you can work on personal branding, which is like the
Mhm.
same thing. You could do shorts or long, but just in a different style rather than automation. And then lastly, you have YouTube
Yeah.
search, which I think is like the least used. Like it's actually I think one of the, when you find a good search term, it's like potentially one of the best to tap into. But it is hard to find a good
Yeah.
keyword, but once you do, like you can tap into that and make a lot as well. Those are I think the four main ways to make money with YouTube right now.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean
pick
like
your poison.
yeah, but I think it's good to like eventually get into everything. Because it's like it just
Mm-hmm.
takes you to succeed at one of them, which opens up the opportunity for you to go into the other one. So I would say master one first and like succeed at it, and then use that as the opportunity to tap into more people, make more connections. I feel like that's another thing people overlook is like the easiest way to get to the next level is just by like meeting other people that are good in that space. So like for you, for example, like if let's say I'm running 10 faces short channels, and you're running like ultra long form, and you're making money off that, making money off that. It's such a win-win situation for us to like share that with each other and like do that. And that's how most people get to the next level. Like whenever you see like these successful people, usually it's not just one person, it's usually like a group of friends, right, that like kind of help each other go to that next level because they're each like good and specialized in one thing. So it's like, why not do that? But the hardest part is the starting. Like, I'll be honest, it just really comes down to you grinding, failing, just working for like X amount of period, which is the hardest part. You never know when it's going to work out, but when it does, like, it is life changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, sick. Well, I hope you have good things in store with YouTube as well. Like I think it's a normal progression for people from shorts because it's the cheapest and easiest to
Yeah.
get good at, then into long form once they get better at it. Then maybe search because that's like more advanced. And I
Yeah.
think ideally, I think we both agree on this. The whole time you should be like growing your personal brand and just
Yeah.
showing and teaching people like what you've learned throughout your journey
Yeah. It's the best way to build trust, right? Like
and
showing
making the right
people.
connections as well. Yeah.
Exactly. No, I was gonna say, when you're at no point, or just starting out and being transparent, like from day one, it'll just help you out later on, right? Like in terms of like credibility and like who you are, like everything is out there. And for those people who want to like actually go super deep on the personal brand stuff, like a lot of people misconcept, like they think of it as the other way, like, yeah, I need to have a Lambo before like I have a personal brand. But it's like more people nowadays prefer the full honesty, transparency. Like I'm still 21, I'm still in my university dorm as well, right? Like there's no faking it. This is just like
Mm.
where we're at right now, but I have no doubt in a year from now or 6 months from now things will be a lot better, right? But it's like you can always come back to this. Anybody can come back to this moment, this podcast, right? And like see where we were like now. And like that's just the amazing thing, because like time passes, but that's why you have videos and pictures, because they'll always take you back to that moment.
Yeah, 100%. So I have a couple questions left now
Yeah.
about sales because I started
Ooh.
as kind of part of a side gig. Again, a lot of pretty much all the stuff I do at this point is related to social
Yeah.
media. And once I
Yeah.
built out like editors and understanding of going viral and everything, I don't know, you know that like my first hustle actually was me juggling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I was like a little kid just going there and doing all this stuff. Okay.
Mhm.
And I realized like, wait, I know a bunch of other jugglers that would want this. And
Yeah.
so I kind of started and I know a lot of them because I've been seeing them for like years. Every year there's like a juggling convention. So I know
Yeah.
some pretty big performers. Like one of the people I know that we're managing for right now, we're on America's Got Talent. They were like
Oh wow.
finalists in like 2016. So I realized like, okay, I have these editors set up. I know how to go viral essentially. I know how to get editors that are good. Why don't we just try,
Mhm.
and I have people who can post on accounts now since I got that from all the
Yeah.
YouTube automation stuff. I was like, why don't I just try managing the social media for some people? Um,
Mhm.
Probably at this point, one of the bottlenecks is sales. So I
Mhm.
have an editor ready to just take on clients.
Yeah.
But it is hard to get people in the door. And I've really noticed it is hard to close people. Like,
Yeah.
especially when they don't know who you are, they don't trust you yet. And even when they can see the value of the product or service, right? So my product, I talk to a lot of magicians. They
Okay.
know that having an established social media presence could really do a lot for them
Yeah.
if it goes viral. Obviously, there's risk; it won't necessarily go viral, and they do have to pay.
Mhm.
But a lot of them like can see that they'd be like, okay, yeah, this is something I want to do. And then when it comes to like, okay, so here's how much it would cost, and here would be the
Yeah.
payment link, or are you ready to move forward today? There's a
Mhm.
lot of hesitation.
Yeah.
Why and how do you how do you overcome that in people?
So like with sales, like to be honest, like I've done it all. Like I've worked in retail stores, I've done door to door, I've done like telecom, and like the hardest part, like again, and like from what it sounds like for you, is like that justification of like, okay, I see the value, but like, does this price justify this? And I was also kind of like at one point helping my friend with his like social media business, where he wanted to like find more clients, like realtors, like local and stuff. And I went with him and I talked to these people. And to be honest with you, like a lot of people are just like looking for like value and services, but they're not ready to give that price. So sometimes it's not really you, right? Like you may be offering something that's really good, but like at the same time, the other person just might not like care about it. They care more about the value of the money than the value of what they're getting, right? But in sales, it is genuinely a like, I guess like a same thing as like a snowball effect, right? Like every aspect of it, your tone, your body language, right? Your objection handling, which seems like one of the things that you're talking about. Like when you get an objection, like somebody saying, I need more time to think about it, or, um, this is too much for me, whatever the objection may be for you. Like, how do you handle that? How do you like translate, I'm not ready for this into, okay, a sale, right? Again, I haven't done any like sale in the side of in the sense of like what you're saying, like where you're trying to sell your own
Mm.
service. But like if I was in a situation of like, somebody maybe, you go through like a magician, you show him the value you can provide and everything. And he's like, give me a call back, you call him back, and then he says, hey Bennett, it sounds, really good. I just don't think this is the right time for me. What would you say to them? Like actually as a question, like let's say I was that guy. I said that, I just don't
Mm.
think this is the right time. What would you say?
Well, so based on my research into sales that
Yeah.
I've done, I think the first thing that this is my by the books
Yeah.
knowledge, right? The first thing you say is like, yeah, you always say like, you always take their side on stuff. So you say, yeah, I
Yeah.
totally understand. Like, it actually makes sense that you need to think about it. And, before we hop off call, was it like something specific you want to think about just so I can prepare? And
Okay. No,
that
that's
gets them
good.
to come
Yeah.
up with the real objection. And then you try to
Exactly.
attack
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So like we used to call it agree, acknowledge, transition. So like no matter
Mm,
what they say to you, you first agree with them, you acknowledge them, and then you transition into
mm,
like whatever your thing may be. So I mean like you have that side of the thing down. But I would say like, just honestly being like more like instead of like I guess asking them what the problem is so they don't give you like another fake objection, you want to yourself be super assumptive. That was one thing that like I learned throughout like in sales, like you just want to be
mm,
super assumptive. So for example, when I call, let's say you're like a lead that's interested in like, I don't know, what's a good thing. Maybe you're interested in my service, right? For example, a lot of people will inquire, but not everyone is interested. I'd pick up and be like, hey Bennett, this is me calling regarding this. You were interested in this, right? So that, you would say, yeah, okay, amazing. To get you started, like a lot of times you want to just like, people make it awkward, but it's really just a conversation of you being assumptive. Like, I'm assuming you were looking to do this, right? I'm assuming you were looking to start next week, right? I'm assuming you
mm.
wanted to post once a day, right? Like, you're kind of, for your situation, like social media manager, whatever, like, the one thing is like always be assumptive. Like, in your head, whenever you pick up the phone, just know that like that guy is sold, right? Like, you want to go in with that intention, like, he's sold. And all you're doing is you're getting the conversation to that speed. So instead of asking, like, do you think this is good for you? Be like, you want to just instead be like, okay, now that everything sounds good, Bennett, we can get you started today. What would be the best email for you? Like the guy is in a position to either just give you his email or give you the reason why he won't give it. And then you could handle the objection by like, if he says like it's not a good time, be like, yeah, Benny, I completely understand. I want to make sure, we're both 100% on this before going forward, just so I know that on my end everything is good. Was it the price that's too high for you? And this way, again, I'm being assumptive of like what the problem could be. If it's the price, he'll be like, yeah. But if it isn't, he won't give me a fake objection. He'll be like, no, it's not the price. It's just that my wife or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Mhm.
just be assumptive and like, even when it's the objection, be assumptive about the objection, right? Just always be like, oh, is it the price that's holding you back? If they say, yeah, it's too much, then work out a deal. Be like, cool, if we could give you half off for the first month to show you that we're, good at what we do, would that make you feel more comfortable? Like 8 out of 10
Yeah.
times, like the guy would, he'd see your
Or some sort
understanding.
of risk reversal. Like, if we don't get you
Yeah.
XYZ result, then
It's
yeah.
just at the end of the day, it's just a conversation, right?
Yeah, I kind of build in. I hope none of my future clients are watching this, but I kind of build in that. So we have like a test phase where like we just do 1 month for $750, 2 posts per day. So they're getting 60 posts for $750. That's a steal.
Yeah.
Um, and we do it like where we either get you a million views, or uh, we either do all 60 posts, or we get you a million views, in which we'll stop and then try to negotiate something longer term.
Hmm.
But essentially, like, that's our test to see if we can get that for you. And there's no guarantees, because I honestly, even if you didn't get a million views, I still
Yeah.
think just 60 posts that you could use anywhere for advertising whenever you want for
Yeah.
750 is actually still a great deal.
Mhm.
But if I ended up at that point with a client where they're like, guys, like I really think this is worth it. I really want it. I just
Yeah.
don't have like I just am worried that I'll spend the $750 and never get it back. And that's what they tell me. I might go, you know what? I'll add in a guarantee that if we don't hit the million views, we'll refund you. You know what I mean? And that's if like I really thought we could hit it for them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
And those are
yeah,
people like just trying to, like you're saying, magicians, like they're trying to promote their like shows or something.
yeah, so I mean, all of the different magicians have different reasons for it, right?
Mm.
But like a lot of them are either trying to get more. So like the biggest ones are like they do corporate events, which
Mm.
essentially means you do the exact same performance that you do at any other
Yeah,
show, but you get paid 25K instead of like 3K.
that's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
Yeah.
It's insane. But yeah, like those people are probably the most willing to pay cuz them getting one more booking is really worth it for them. And
Hmm.
them just having that extra tinge of professionality even is really worth it for them. So that's the other thing I think you brought up, which is like, yeah, sometimes people just don't value their money more. You have to cherry pick people
Yeah.
who have enough money that they value getting stuff out of it or saving
Yeah.
time more than they do their money, honestly. And that's when you'll
Yeah.
get the least amount of resistance, probably.
Yeah. And I mean, even for you, like on your end, like it really takes like a few clients for you to like get it going, because you'll have proof, testimonials, credit, and like it's all about the client also being understanding. Like social media is not a one and done type of game. You build a brand over time. It's just
Yeah.
that you just have to make sure they realize that, and like they realize the value of like it's all about value. If the guy thinks that your 60 posts are worth more than his $750, there's no reason for him to not go ahead with it, right? So it's like
Mhm.
just making them understand that like even if we upload 10 posts for you this week, maybe you don't get a booking this week, but those videos, those posts can generate you eyeballs towards your page for like the next year, right? And it's like if you do that every single week, you're just increasing the chances and the eyeballs coming to your page. And like 3 months later, if now you're getting two bookings a week, you're just tripling your investment, and that's going to be there forever.
Got it.
So
Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely like to do that as well. Like I like to try to name drop the people that we worked with in the past,
yeah.
especially if I think they'll know them. Like
Yeah.
I'll try to take I'll try to just name drop like if I'm on the phone with them, especially I'm like, "Oh yeah, we did this for Giancarlo, we did this for the
Yeah.
passing zone, they were all on Fool Us as well." It's like a
Mm.
magician show. And I try to relate that to them.
Yeah.
I know I talked to a guy who does window cleaning and does
Mhm.
door-to-door sales with that, and that's his strategy. He always starts a pitch with like, "Oh, we were just going around the neighborhood, we actually
Yeah.
just cleaned Sally's window, which is like their
Yeah.
neighbor
Yeah. I've
or
seen a
whatever,"
lot of people do
and
that on
name drop
TikTok.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, I like to end every podcast on on something fun.
Yeah.
So I would like to I'll be objectivable
Mhm.
person on a sales call, and you try to
Yeah.
sell me the social media services.
Haven't.
I'll if you do
Okay.
a good job, I'll maybe consider it. But
Okay. Cool. I mean, I don't have anything I'm selling right now, but let's say hypothetically in
yeah,
6 months
let's say
when
you were
I'm
doing sales for my business where I was selling this social media services to performers.
okay. Cool. All right. Like, let's say you inquired, and I'm just giving you a call back.
Yeah, so yeah, let's say you give me the price. Like, let's say you're dropping the price on me right now. You just took me through the whole
Okay.
deck, what it could do for me. You're giving me the price. I know there's no
All right.
context here, but
Yeah, okay, cool, whatever. All right, Bennett, now that everything makes sense, what we're looking at, we want to be completely transparent with you. We're going to be posting 60 times for you in this first month. And I'm a very results oriented person. So what I'm going to make sure for you we do is that we're either going to get you those 60 posts or a million views. And the best part about it, Bennett, it's actually only going to be $750. Now, to get you started, I'm going to send you a link to our payment processor. You can go ahead and fill it out, and then we can get started tomorrow. How does that sound?
yeah, I just is that sounds good. I kind of like to talk to my wife about these things before I go forward. Is that fine?
Yeah, 100%, Benny. I like to talk to my wife too, make sure, I'm not sleeping on the couch or anything. I want to make sure we're on the same page. Now, I'm not your wife by any means, but if your wife was here with us in this call, I'm sure you know her better than I do. What is one thing you think she would go against?
I think she'd tell me that like $750 is a lot when like I don't even know if this will work.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the money side of things is a lot, but again, like we've talked about it, it's really like the value, right? Like we're on this call for a reason. You're interested in this service for a reason, right? Because you've seen other magicians, you've seen other performers, you've seen the value that social media can bring to you. And in your case, all it takes is one client, one booking for you, right? Like getting your name out there to get you that return on investment. And the best part is you're not stuck on any contract or anything like that. All you're doing is you're putting this $750 as kind of like an investment, right? 60 posts, they're going to be with you forever. This impression, these eyeballs that you're going to get to your page and who you are is going to be there forever, right? And the best part is, Bennett, that like in social media, the chances of like you succeeding are just dependent on like you getting yourself out there. So all we're doing is like, you're already an amazing magician. We're just showing the world that. And once you build one client relationship, with a corporate company, for example, every year, if they do a Christmas party and you're good at what you do, you're going to get that return offer from them, even if you're not using my service, right? At the end of the day, I'm just here to help you get your thing your business to the next level. Now that everything is all good, I understand 750 could be a lot. So what I'll do for you, Bennett, is I'll actually give you a $250 discount. I don't typically do this, but I just want to make sure we start things off on the right foot. And after the first month, once you see the results yourself, we can have a conversation then and we can, figure things out then. I've sent over the link. Do you think you can get this done today?
Let's do it. That was pretty good.
Sounds good.
That was pretty good.
It's been a while. I'm pretty rusty. I'm not going to lie. It's been like 3-4 months since I was told to pitch someone, but
it was, and with such little context too. Like if you had my context, you probably would have said something like, oh yeah, like I understand the skepticism, but you saw the Passing Zone, who we got 5 million views for just in 2 weeks, right? And I would probably bring up this. But
it's a lot easier when you have.
One thing I noticed you did that I don't do, and I'm gonna do more now, is use their name. Jesus, dude. That would like, you just went from like normal conversation to like using my name, and I felt that from my end.
The name's like one of the biggest things people talk about, is because like that's like you make the other person feel like more special and more important.
I felt more special when you were doing
names, that's a huge trick. Like, start by just going at their name, because they're not used to a stranger calling them by their name. So you doing that, you're kind of like ice breaking like right away, and it definitely helps a lot.
Got it. Okay, well, thank you for that thing. I want to get more into sales. I feel like it's something, as far as I've read and like looked into, almost every big entrepreneur started with sales. And I think it's just probably the most universally important skill for entrepreneurs. So it's something that I definitely want to get better at and want to get more reps in. So
it's fun. It's the best part about it is like, if you actually enjoy it, it's really fun.
Yeah. Well, Ronak, thank you so much for this podcast. I hope everyone watching enjoyed as much as I enjoyed talking to you. And finally, we have another person in the YouTube space who is fully transparent about how much they make and the channels that they own. So it's not just me, guys. We got other people joining the movement. So I highly recommend subscribing to him and checking out his videos. I'll leave all your links in the description.
I appreciate it, Bennett. It was honestly equally as fun for me. I'm super excited to, rewatch this in 6 months and a year from now, just to see where we're both at. And honestly, if you guys made it to the end, I appreciate it. I hope it was worth the time. And that's basically it for me.
Yeah. We'll hop back on soon, or in like a year from now, and see where we're at.
I'm so down.
Check back in. Awesome, bro. Well, thank you and peace.
All right. Peace.